And I like my chicken fried. Cold brew. Okay, no.
Herb, new song alert for Herb. Even though this song was released 15 years ago, this is Herb's new favorite song. It's "I Like My Chicken Fried" by, I forgot the guy's name already. Let me check. By the Zac Brown Band.
First off, if you just now heard it, it's new to you. Okay. And yes, I've been jamming on that all weekend and driving everybody crazy in the house. It's the Herb and Raj podcast.
Herb here.
Raj. Breaking news, Raj.
Yes.
So as I hope all of our listeners know, Raj is having twins. Well, Raj's wife is having twins.
My wife's having twins, yeah.
Yes, Raj is just there. So
yes.
And Raj, this is a breaking exclusive. Raj has decided to name the twins, a boy and a girl, after the greatest basketball player of all time. So one of the kids will be named Michael Jeffrey Ragsdale, and the other one will be named Michaela Jeffriana Ragsdale. So, Raj, that's amazing.
Who gave you that report, Woj?
I can't reveal my sources.
Okay.
But
okay.
That was breaking news.
That is breaking news, and that's why I'm wearing the Jordan jersey right now.
Thank you.
The twins is, yes, that's the news. But as far as the names, I'm sorry to disappoint anybody out there, but those names are highly inaccurate. The names will be revealed at a later time, but that was entertaining to say the least.
Oh, so let me tell somebody another story with that. So my birthday was Friday, and by the way, thank you for all the people who posted, who sent me messages, who said stuff, and I keep a notebook of everyone who neglected to wish me happy birthday. So
is that list long?
The list is long enough, and it will be punishment will be not swift. It will be very, very slow coming, and you know it might be years before you realize that you've been punished.
All right, let me text a couple people now and tell them to.
It's too late.
No, okay,
it's too late.
All right.
It's too late. So, anyway, though, I got home Friday night for my birthday and went out. My nieces are in town, so which, by the way, my nieces call you Afghanistan because that's where they.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, where they thought you were. The story behind that was I told my nieces my brother didn't make my birthday or my wedding. Why didn't he? Which actually he did. They were there at the wedding with him and just forgot. So they said he was in Afghanistan. So that's the joke from now on.
Okay.
So I go out on Friday night and I'm wearing my GOAT 23 shirt. And we go to a Mexican restaurant and they put a hat on and we're dancing and everything. And Raj gets sent the video. And the only thing Raj sees in the video is GOAT 23. And he calls me the next day and says, "Was that a shot at me?" I was like, "Oh,
I'm telling you, man. If LeBron, well, first of all, happy belated birthday to Herb again. We've talked several times. But if LeBron ever gets this next ring, he's getting on top of my GOAT list.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
There's going to be plenty of LeBron news for later.
Okay. My bad.
Including his Titanic team up with Kyrie. So.
Oh my gosh.
It might
I like how you put the word Titanic in there because that Titanic sunk last time I checked. So
yeah. And Mike, I'm not on it. That's Mike saying, Mike wished me happy birthday.
All right, good. Shout out to Mike.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you checking in. That's I have to tell you, Dave, that's a blast from the past name. So Dave, appreciate you tuning in, buddy.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you.
And yeah, LeBron did wear a 23 at one point. So he put Sonata accurate. He did correct it in another one, but we won't put up the correction. We'll just make people think that Mike doesn't know how to type.
Nah, Mike is a typologist.
Yes. We always appreciate Mike. So thank you. Of
course. Shout out to Big Mike.
Yep. And while we're doing our shout out to the Shakeback Media Group just for giving me a shout out here. And then our boy, they call me Mr. U. Mr. U. Checked him out this morning. He tried to tackle a huge topic, the greatest rivalries in sports. So I think that's a topic we'll carry at a later date. But Raj and I both chimed in. So thank you to Mr. U if you're out there. And David shot fire.
Pew 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 pew. Oh man, Dave. Right when I thought I was gonna like you.
That didn't last long.
The RFC stands up right now. We got to get in the comments. We've got our first LeBum comment.
Yeah.
Always entertaining.
And that's the Raj fan club for anybody who's just not tuning in to RFC. Okay. All right. We got to get to some playoffs.
Yes.
I guess maybe I'll talk about the playoffs because I watched the game last night. One of us, let me just say this. One of us last night decided to watch the game. And the other of us decided
I had a prior engagement.
The Little Mermaid, because somehow that was.
Let me explain.
I don't know if I want you to explain because I like just framing it that way and making you seem like a big punk. But go ahead.
My wife has told me several times when she was a little girl, and I've even heard this from my mother-in-law.
Hey, is this the face of somebody who believes
one of my wife's favorite movies was The Little Mermaid when she was a little girl. They watched it every day. So when we found out this one was coming out, my wife told me, okay, we wanted to go see it. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I said I want to see it, just check it out. I wanted to check it out. We didn't go opening weekend. And yesterday morning, we both said, I said, yeah, we can go tomorrow night. I know the game comes on at 7:30, but, I figured the Nuggets were going to win anyway. Obviously, that didn't happen. So even if I caught the last half or last quarter, I'd be okay. I don't need to watch the entire game. With that being said, I caught about the last 8. I got home during the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think Miami was up 10. And I called Herb. He didn't answer the phone. Because I was calling him saying, like, what's going on? Because
I didn't answer the phone because I thought you were going to want to talk about The Little Mermaid. And I was like, I don't want to be part of it.
No, I didn't want to talk about that. I don't think we got to talk about that. By the way, the movie was actually pretty decent. So, Anyway, I was calling Herb to say, like, what's going on? Because I hadn't even checked the stats to see what's going on. Obviously, Jokic had a big game. I think he had 41 points. Speaking of that, before I continue, I think the Nuggets are 0-3 in the playoffs this year whenever Jokic scores above 40, the Nuggets lose.
I feel like it was like 1-4 or something like that because I was listening to Shannon Sharpe, which we'll get into. I think they've only won maybe one game.
Okay,
when
it's either 1-4 or 3.
But it's a losing record.
Yeah.
You're 100% on that. It's a bad rate. If they've won, it's only been one game. I know that the stat didn't go over that. So and the theory has been, you make Jokic and this team ball is more important. Yeah, and I think it kind of goes a little bit further than that. It's this debate on if Jokic is able to get everyone involved and all can get in a rhythm, the team is much more important. And Jokic is fine with that. But the way they were playing and they were staying on everybody, he had to hunt his shot. Plus, his team was just not shooting well.
Right.
So but having said all that, they had a lead going into the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
I was at the movie, so I don't know what the lead was going into the fourth, but based on what you told me,
they had a lead going into the fourth quarter.
Okay, so they just had a really dismal, really, really bad fourth quarter. Okay,
8-point lead going into the fourth quarter. They got outscored 36-25.
Yeah.
Still had a shot to tie the game at the end, but Jokic had a monster game. But you have, Michael Porter Jr. out there.
Michael Porter Jr. only had 5 and KCP
points,
had 6. So
So you can't get 11 between those two.
Right.
But then Michael Porter Jr. didn't do much. He got 6 rebounds, no assists, 2 for 8 shooting, 1 for 6 from 3. He basically was just kind of out there. No steals, no blocks, 1 turnover. So Jokic is fine feeding the other guys, and I think. And did you see Spoelstra's his press conference at the end?
I did not.
Somebody mentioned that like you made him into a passer, and he said, "Oh, that's the untrained eye, and you can't do that." And Jokic's a great player, and blah blah, and basically stormed out. And so there's a debate to whether like was he just kind of like being over dramatic, or was he kind of doing it? Because as you said with that stat, it's just proven if you let Jokic hit 40 points, they're most of the time we're losing these games.
Right.
Versus if he's able to get, and I don't. Let's clarify this. Jokic was not like ball hogging or taking terrible shots or shooting too much. And everyone was staying home on their guys, giving him more room to shoot. Right. And then when those other guys did happen to get open, nobody was hitting their shots. So
in his defense, I mean, he was 16 for 28, so he had a good percentage. He shot the ball pretty well, had 41 points. What is interesting is he only had 4 assists. So I think this kind of goes back to what you were saying as far as the way that the Nuggets played yesterday. Everybody was just kind of spread out and letting him kind of take full court and do his own thing. And I mean, he had a good game individually, but unfortunately for the Nuggets, they lost. And like we also mentioned, 2 of their starters combined for 11 points. That's also not good. And then on the other end, Gabe Vincent had a huge night. Stepped up with 23 points. Not sure what's going on with Caleb Martin. He had 1-3 yesterday. I think since that first game is kind of his playing time is just kind of decreased since the last two games he's kind of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I was cutting you off. No, I don't think it's just necessarily his playing time. His shooting percentages haven't been as great either, and the confidence doesn't seem to be there. I think he's mad because he got snubbed for the MVP in the Eastern Conference Final.
And did you see the voting? I think he was one vote away from getting the trophy.
I mean, I think the thing is it's like Jimmy Butler's team, so people are going to vote for him and kind of ignore the stats of everyone else.
That's what I was saying. I was like, Jimmy Butler's the one that got him there, so I think he kind of had that riding on his shoulders going into the voting process, and they just said, okay, Jimmy Butler did have a good series, so let's just give it to Jimmy. Yeah. But yeah, that besides the point though. I mean, Caleb Martin didn't play well, but Gabe Vincent definitely stepped up with 23 points yesterday, so that was really, really huge. Jimmy Butler did Jimmy Butler's things, and I think you and I even discussed this yesterday. If you look at Jimmy Butler's field goal percentage, it's not a great field goal percentage throughout the playoffs. He's scoring, but he's missing a lot of shots. But I think
he is actually, and real quick, David, this is a great defense strategy. Making me, if he can't get everybody else involved, there's no way that Denver's going to win the game. Right. Period. Butler, I think, and like I said, I listened to a lot of tidbits from Shannon and Skip, which we'll discuss them later since it's going to be just skip soon.
That's another thing. Yeah.
They mentioned like Jimmy Butler's last 6 or 7 games have not been great. But having said that, Raj, he scored 8 points in the fourth quarter on good shooting. I think his usual thing, like he's playing good defense on Murray. Even when Murray goes off, it's a lot of switching and stuff going on. But he's out there, he's playing good defense, making good decisions, didn't turn the ball over a lot. So he's still Jimmy Butler. And then Miami's strategy is really just let's keep it close until the fourth quarter and we feel confident.
Right.
And that's what they did. And people were hitting. I mean, Duncan Robinson comes off the bench for 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And I like Duncan Robinson because when he starts hitting shots, he starts flexing on everybody. He's talking trash. I love it. I love it. I love it. So.
Yeah. Because you used to be a big trash talker back in your day, huh?
Actually, I don't think either of us were. I think you were a bigger trash talker than I was.
Was I?
Yeah, you were just more. You were more physical of a player. You were a heck of a defensive player, heck of an offensive player.
Anybody looking at this body and thinking physical, Well, it's I got the dad bod without the kids going on over here, Ross.
Yeah, you do have the dad bod.
Gonna stab you later. That's fine. Okay, what now?
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, no, I mean Duncan Robinson was. I mean the Heat just kind of are a no ego team. You know, they're just like, we don't care who's got whatever going on. We're just out here to play, and we don't care about the labels. It's like, what was it? Strus came out firing in this. I'm sorry, Vincent came out firing in this last game.
23 points, 8 for 12, 4 trades. Yep. Is it safe to say that Gabe Vincent was on fire? The Heat, get it? You see what I? Sorry.
If you have to explain it, it's probably not that.
Okay.
Because in my mind, I was going. I mean. Yeah, he was on fire, but I don't.
But you didn't. You didn't get the reference, Miami, because the logo is like a flame, and then.
Oh Lord!
All right,
please
sorry.
help me.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
So the biggest story though coming out of it was Michael Malone, coach for the Nuggets.
Yep.
He was upset at their effort coming out. Jeff Green echoed the same thing. He was like, "It's the effing finals."
Yeah.
Like what's going on. Is that not concerning for you as a coach going forward? Now, in Denver's defense, I mean, they come back, they win one game in Miami, they get home court advantage back.
Right.
As a what are you thinking as a coach or as a spectator watching this? Like, how do you not have that much, intensity coming out in the NBA Finals?
It's the NBA Finals. It's not a regular season game, and not just the NBA Finals, but this is the game. You lose this game now, the other team has momentum now. They're going to their home court, a couple days rest. They're up. They're tied 1-1. Now they're thinking we're in this series. Had they lost the game down 0-2 going back to Miami, like, I don't know if we're going to get one. Now they've got all the momentum. Jimmy Butler's got these guys even more fired up than they already were, for the simple fact that Denver just came out in the fourth quarter and said, you know what, we're tired. Maybe it's the altitude that's getting to us right now. So maybe we don't need to play as tight. So I don't know. The series overall right now, the series is tied up 1-1. This is very, very interesting because I've been hearing, I think we've both been hearing a lot of people say either it's going to be a sweep or maybe even a gentleman's sweep. With Miami winning last night, I think it might go 6. I still have Denver winning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I still have Denver winning.
Yeah. And that's the thing for Denver. It's the first game you've lost at home all season. You win one of the next 2 games in Miami, and you make it back into a 3-game series. Yeah. You're okay.
And they only lost last night by 3. And we just mentioned the fact they barely played in the fourth quarter, and then they lost by 3. So it's not like they got demolished. So
yeah. Do you support the decision to not call a timeout?
Yes, I do. I saw the play, and I felt like even if they called a timeout, they would have ran a play for Jamal Murray anyway. So it wasn't a bad shot he took. It was a pretty good shot. He just
unfortunately and you had to have a 3 with that much time left.
You had that right. He just missed the shot. So I was okay with that. And I knew that had he missed, I knew that's some slack Malone was going to create. How come what was your decision not to call a timeout? Blah blah. Hey, Jamal had the ball. He got a good shot off. He just missed a shot.
Yeah. And then it's like we say, man, you call the timeout. You give them a chance to kind of set their defense. Maybe they foul. Maybe the game goes way longer than you want. So I don't know. Sometimes at some point you have to put the ball in the hands of your players. You know what I mean? So So, but you still say Denver in 6.
I get Denver in 6. Yeah, but prior to last night's game, I would say Denver in 5. Now I'm going to say Denver in 6. I think Miami's going to get another one at home. I think it's going to go back to Denver tied up 2 apiece.
I tend to agree with that. I think they focus more.
No. Do you agree or do you not agree? I don't tend to agree.
I agree. I think Denver definitely gets one in Miami for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it's game 3, but I think they get one in Miami. I think they come back to Denver tied at 2.
Yep.
The real series in. Where do you factor in the Tyler Hero effect?
That's a very good question because I
only ask good questions, but go ahead.
Okay. I think it will help them because Kevin Love is their other starter. And I'm not saying he's going to replace Kevin Love because Kevin Love plays a power forward.
So just real quick, Kevin Love didn't start game 1. So a big change for them was him starting game 2.
Okay.
And they got a little bit more size out there. And
he got 10 rebounds.
And he was able to slot on to Gordon.
Yeah.
And Bam was on Jokic. That was a big change for game 2.
And I know, and Kevin Love knows that he's not out there to score 15 to 20 points a game. He's just out there for size, get some rebounds, maybe make some good passes. That's strictly it. To answer your question, I think it would only be an advantage for Miami to have another shooter out there. I mean, we see Caleb Martin's having a really rough series. So even if Tyler Hero is ready for game 3, and even if he comes off the bench, the thing about it is, I think he's still going to have to get a lot of shots up to kind of get back into his rhythm. And I understand
that's the problem. I see.
They show up to the arena, several hours before the game, get some shots at, but it's not going to feel the same until the game actually starts and someone's guarding him. So I think even if he starts game 3, it's still going to be kind of rough. He might not get into rhythm until maybe game 4 or game 5. And again, that's if he plays game 3. I don't know what it's looking like right now. I think he's still oh wow, really? I think I wonder who keyed that in.
Oh, it's shocking. But thank you.
Shocking. Yeah,
thank you, anonymous listener out there.
Anonymous listener, I would love for you to say something about Raj. But hey, you're right. Herb is amazing. And I have a feeling that anonymous listener is getting ready to type in something about Raj just based on someone's face right now. All right, anyway. So, yeah, I want to see if Tyler Hero plays game 3. I don't think he's going to make a big impact. I don't think he'll be good until game 4 or game 5.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like a bunch of stuff that you.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know who typed that in.
I don't know.
One of the points that you made in there, though, it was really good, talking about having to get him. Like, he hasn't played since the Milwaukee series.
Right.
So we're not talking about. And if this was regular season, you'd work him in. Like, you don't have time to work him in. Let's say he shows back up for game 4.
Right.
Does it hurt the continuity at this point? It almost feels like he's going to. I get to see him a random third quarter, Miami down by 10. They need a spark. Here comes Tyler Hero. Like, does it work? Does it not? Nobody knows. And
then even the physicality of the game. Like, what if he hits his hand on somebody else trying to guard somebody going up for a rebound, block, or whatever?
Well, Tyler Hero doesn't play a lot of defense, so I don't think you have to worry about most of that.
Yeah, he plays hero style defense.
Just gonna go ahead and give me a drink.
All right, sorry. Sorry.
Carry on.
We'll see. I'm gonna look at
parched.
I think he's questionable for game 3, but of course we won't know anything until like around game time. And the Nuggets are favored by 2.5.
Of course.
Wednesday night.
That mirrors the Boston series where
yep.
Boston was favored big at home and small on the road, and Miami wins the series. So Miami is honestly one of those teams that probably likes that position that they're in the whole time. So they didn't really play bad in that series until it was until they were favorites, I think. So, I agree with you. I still think Denver ends up taking this series, but their margin for error is now gone. They can't afford to lose 2 in Miami. So they really got to come correct. Do kids still say that, come correct? Or?
Yeah, I don't think they do, but we can say it. Herman Raj can say it.
Okay. They come correct. Okay. All right. Which did you want to transition into your Lakers stuff? Because
let's do it.
This story has been interesting out there.
Very interesting.
So it started coming across, and I'm surprised Bob didn't give you this heads up. But
how do you know he didn't?
Because you never mentioned it before.
Doesn't mean he didn't tell me.
So
yes,
started coming across that Denver had an interest in. Dallas had an interest in LeBron James. So there's two pieces of news that we talked about. First, that Dallas had actually called the Lakers about getting LeBron around the trade deadline when the Lakers were still doing Funkadoodle, and that Kyrie wants LeBron to leave the Lakers and go to Dallas. So which one of those did you want to handle first?
I guess Kyrie wanting him to come to Dallas.
And so you said you had a lot of thoughts about this.
I had some thoughts about it, but I made up my mind pretty swiftly. I don't like the idea of him going. I don't think LeBron will go. His oldest son isn't going to USC. His youngest son is in another high school, no longer at Sierra Canyon. I think he's transferring to another high school in California. He's got the Hollywood thing going, doing the movie thing in California. He's with the Lakers. They just made it to the Western Conference Finals. I think by him going to Dallas, and then first of all, what is Dallas going to have to give up to get him? Like, how does that work out?
That's where I stopped, Raj. Yeah. I was like, you already traded a bunch for Kyrie.
Right.
What would you have to trade the Lakers to get LeBron?
That bench would be completely gutted. And then
the bench is already gutted.
It's already gutted.
More gutted.
And now you're looking at a team that's going to have 3 ball-dominant players all on the same team. LeBron's 38, going to be 39 on December 30th. The exact date, I know that. He'll be 39 on December 30th.
You don't even remember my birthday.
From a defensive perspective, he can still do the chase down blocks, but obviously he can't do some of the things he could do when he was younger. Dallas already had a bad defensive team last year. Luka doesn't play a lot of defense. Kyrie doesn't play a lot of defense. I mean, it's going to be hard to defend anybody when you're on that team. And again, the fact that they have 3 ball-dominant players, and then I can't see him and Luka on the same team, to be honest. Not saying Luka's a bad player, but their style plays somewhat similar. And then once Kyrie gets the ball, he's going to do his little one-on-one thing. I don't think it's a good fit. I don't think it's smart for LeBron. If I'm LeBron, I'm going to stay in LA and see maybe if Kyrie can come to LA. But based on Kyrie trying to get him to come to Dallas, I don't think Kyrie's leaving Dallas.
No.
So
and there's the last report right before we got on air came out that said the Lakers are not interested in Kyrie.
Right.
There's so many parts of this.
Yeah.
Okay. And none of them fit. First off, the fit with LeBron on Dallas, with them trading everybody, doesn't work because LeBron will average 25, Kyrie will average 30, Luka will average 30, and they'll lose every game by 20 because their bench will average 4 points, and they're everybody
they're not going to stop anybody from scoring.
Right. Second, Kyrie's going to miss some games. Luka's going to miss some games. LeBron's going to miss some games. So you're not going to have all 3 of them together. That doesn't make any sense. Third, the Lakers are in a better position to compete next year than Dallas is. So you're going to tell me he would leave because LeBron's not a free agent. He's already signed that extension. So he would leave a better position to go to a worse team at this stage of his career. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And we all agree, like, if LeBron and AD can stay healthy and then re-sign Rui and Hachi Sauce and Austin Reeves, then I think the Lakers can be another good playoff contender next year. Maybe make a second round or even the Western Conference Finals as long as everybody stays healthy. So to your point, going to Dallas is like the complete opposite. Dallas ended up weren't they like, was it 11th or 12th or 13th? I don't know where they.
I feel like it was 13th. They had to get low enough to where they wouldn't lose their draft pick.
Yeah, you're right. So Dallas was 13th. I mean, LeBron goes over there, no bench. They might be a play-in team. Again, that this team would look better on paper, but then when you actually playing throughout these games, it's just not. It's not a good fit for LeBron. I don't think.
And what I gave was the best case scenario in the regular season. In the playoffs, every game, all three of those guys would have to average 30.
Yep.
So any one of the three has a bad game, and you're losing.
Yeah.
You have no bench.
Yep.
You have no defense. Like that would be just.
Take a look at the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Take a look at the Phoenix Suns. See how that's going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And even worse because at least they had a DeAndre Ayton,
right.
and half of a Chris Paul at times. Like
it
would be even worse. So
yeah.
Raj, he does not like.
He does not. David does not like LeBron. Oh my gosh. David sounds like one of these guys who's part of those Facebook groups who's like anti-LeBron. LeBron had a Krispy Kreme donut. We don't like him. But
what kind of donut did he have?
I knew it.
I'm just saying. You seem to know a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I both of those I think were terrible ideas. Look, Dallas is in a position where they have to re-sign Kyrie, and that's it. That's unfortunately it. So they don't really have a choice. Now, David, this one I will definitely disagree with you. You don't want to play with any pressure.
Yeah.
If you go to LA, there's more. I mean, in the basketball world, there's more pressure than anywhere else. So, you think Cleveland was pressure? Cleveland, they won that one title. He could have rode that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And never has to do anything. So, going to LA is a huge amount of pressure. It's one of the basketball meccas, especially NBA wise. So, got to disagree with you on that one. Yeah. So, E, has been checking with us all playoff long. Wish we had started this earlier for sure because it's been some interesting tidbits as far as that goes. He decided, even though he's a Lakers fan, to travel to tackle the Celtics. So, having read the list, do you think he's trying to sabotage?
Well, let's pull the list up. Let's see what he's got. Excuse me. So he's got So he says for the Celtics summer to-do list, number 1, trade or sign. Somehow the Celtics need to acquire Draymond Green.
That's an interesting one because they get a good defensive pressure, but they don't get any shooting.
Right.
And that goes along with number 2, signing Patrick.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Lakers when I said this, not Celtics. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, trade sign Draymond Green. Obviously, that'll bolster up your defense. But like you said, I think Draymond's capable to give you 8 to 10 points a game if he tries hard enough. But his main focus is not scoring. Right. So when he goes to Boston, he might actually have to score a little more because Jaylen Brown and Tatum are not Steph and Clay. It's a completely different type of scorer. So
here's what I think this trade, if maybe I'm reading into, but this is what I think this trade is: more ball movement and a better facilitator. Yeah, because obviously they don't have that on this team, and Marcus Smart is not always it. I think they pointed to his 10 assist game, and I'm like, okay, one game and then like 20 games without it, like doesn't make it work. So yeah. I think that's where Draymond comes in: better defense and then a good facilitator on offense. Yeah, Brian Pat Bev is clearly for defense. My problem with Pat Bev is does it cancel out Marcus Smart?
No, I'd rather have Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's a better shooter, and I'm just not a Patrick Beverley fan. I think his antics have kind of outgrown me, and whenever he steps on the court, it's more about him doing the silly stuff and just getting some really, really like unnecessary attention. So I would just nix that. But I see from a defensive perspective, that'll help out. But I'd rather have somebody that can give me some more 8 to 10 points. Yeah. Now, of course, if you get Draymond Green, you get almost kind of like the same guy, same type of play, but I'd rather have Draymond as opposed to Patrick. Number 3, sign Naz Reid. Okay.
Like that one too. And that's one of those I'll have to look more in, but I like that one. Add veteran coaches to the bench. I like that one. I think that'll be more
I think they added Sam Cassell, didn't they? I think they
just added Sam Cassell. So I don't know if you've noticed, Raj, but every week that E has sent this, his first one on the list, if I'm not mistaken, has been done each week when it goes to like a coach or something like that.
E is like our Woj almost.
Yeah. So some of his list has been taken into consideration each week. Yeah. Number 5, I think, is the best one though. Like clearly.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown had 8 turnovers in that last game. His ball handling was obviously not on point, so I agree with that. Clearly, number 5. Get in the gym, train with some guys, work on your handles, work on those skills, and get your stuff together.
Yep.
Because that was a series. I think we all agree that series was one that Boston probably should have won. So.
And this is why he's saying this about Draymond and Beverly. They just need somebody to like get in their butts, basically.
Yeah.
So, and of course, David disagrees with the Patrick Beverly. Like I said, neither one of us is too high on Patrick Beverly. I do disagree with this one though. I don't think Rodman gets enough. Like, yeah, he was attention, but he was defense in championships, and I think that's where it separates from Patrick Beverly. So I definitely put Rodman in a higher category.
Yeah,
and of course PJ also in the middle.
Shout out to PJ. What's going on, sir? Lakers just need an off season together. I think that'll help. I don't think that'll hurt. With LeBron being there, I don't know. LeBron's a busy guy. That's all I was saying. LeBron's a busy guy, so I don't know if that's what's going to pan out. But
I think what he's saying is like the whole offseason together, like train and play basketball together.
No, yeah, I understand.
If you can get LeBron to come to play a little basketball, okay.
I think that'll kick in a few months or something. They'll get back in the court together, and so
So anyway, as always, we appreciate all the
thank you everybody.
Thank you Eve for taking the time out for doing that. But I really enjoy that, man. I do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even if we disagree with your comment or like your comment or whatever.
Oh yeah, we are glad people are commenting, so we appreciate that. So we appreciate it. Please comment. Please continue to comment.
Yeah. So one of our other random topics, we're kind of going to just jump around, I think, for the next 20 minutes before I try to kill you in the questions of death. We mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, right? Shannon Sharpe is leaving undisputed.
Yes.
So everybody is already
speculating,
giving all their stuff in. So first off, let me go ahead and start this, and then I know you said you had a lot of thoughts, so I'm gonna let you get to that. So he's getting a buyout to go ahead and leave. So his contract.
Do we know how much that is?
No, I don't think it's really about the money. I think he's really just like let's go ahead and end this somehow. Raj, you and I, we do the Herb and Raj podcast, right?
Right.
If your contract was up somehow and you were like leaving the last shows, it'd be like, "Oh, Raj, I know you're moving on to a great opportunity, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, blah blah blah." Da, da. Oh, and by the way, David said he tried to sign up to take his spot. I mean, are you sure you want to work with Skip Bayless? Though?
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. Like being on air, great.
If they offer David enough money, David might just take it. Hey, I can do this for a year. And see how it goes.
Should that be one of the questions, Raj? How much would Skip have to pay you to leave the Herb and Raj podcast?
Now, before I answer,
I don't even want to know.
If he gave me some money, I would break you off some. Do the kids still say that, break you off?
I guess. I
don't know. I would give you some money if I had to leave. It'd have to be a lot of money. I got kids coming and everything, so you know what? I should have just said I would never leave.
Oh, maybe you should have.
Yeah, I never.
But can you imagine the awkwardness of like, first off, if your contract was just up and you were going somewhere else, our last episodes be like, "Oh, Raj, grad."
Yeah.
But if you had went to management to Willie, leader of the Shake Back Media Group, and said, "Hey, bye, I'm out of here." Our last shows, I'd be sitting there like this.
So do you think Kip was Kip? Do you think Skip was even aware that Shannon was leaving?
I think sometimes Skip with his ego doesn't seem to. It's like what the big incident was, right? Did you watch this?
Well, I think it was two of them. I think there was the one was the Tom Brady incident where Skip was talking about how Shannon's career didn't pan out like Tom Brady's was, and Tom Brady was 42 still playing.
There's a couple things. So everybody knows Skip is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, right?
Right.
The one thing you cannot talk bad about on that show, though, is Tom Brady somehow.
Right.
Skip will insult certain stuff about. He will insult Jerry Jones. He will insult Dak Prescott.
Right.
He will talk bad about the Cowboys when it's time to talk bad about the Cowboys.
He will defend Tom Brady.
Tom Brady could murder somebody on camera, turn to the camera and be like,
Skip would be like, well, what did that person do?
Exactly. Skip. And he took a personal shot at Shannon.
Yep.
Over Tom Brady.
Yep.
And then that's kind of when it went down. And I also think it was the Hamlin issue.
The DeMar Hamlin, yes. Yeah, what happened was when DeMar Hamlin got when the unfortunate incident that happened to DeMar Hamlin, Skip tweeted, that he understands them stopping the game, but why are they postponing? Something to the effect of the fact that they were postponing the game, and that was pretty insensitive. Yeah. So, and then if you remember, Shannon didn't even show up to work the next day after that tweet. He just took a day off.
So. Real quick, just to get these two in, I think that was in reference to the talking about would you leave or not.
Yeah.
And, Shannon has a pod. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay. Yeah, and
Raj can do both. Yeah. And Raj, you're a talented guy, man. I would support you if you were leaving.
I appreciate it. I would never leave,
friction between us.
Unless it was like $10 billion.
Imagine us having to do this show for the
that would be really
to the NBA playoffs. So anyway, I've talked a lot. You said there were certain thoughts that you wanted to get to. What do you think?
I think that it was a combination of what we mentioned earlier, as far as the Tom Brady incident, the Damar Hamlin tweet, and I think what happens when the show was first initiated back in 2016, I believe, Skip had already submitted his name as far as being an analyst and being on air, etc., radio, TV, blah 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 blah. Shannon was somewhat the new guy, and I don't think a lot of people didn't know what to expect from Shannon coming in. We were like, okay, we know he knows football, but what does he know about basketball, baseball, etc.? But then over the years, Shannon has proved himself on air. He's excellent at his job, and his personality grew as well. His persona. He's got as we both mentioned, he's got the Club Shay Shay podcast. He's got his own cognac. Shannon is now the personality of the show, and I think he kind of outgrew Skip a little bit.
Hey, now let's clarify one point in the middle of that. I want you to continue. Shannon even went on air and said that Skip fought for him to be on the show. The heads at FS1 were not on board with Shannon. Okay. And Skip did fight for Shannon. That's why in all of this, even when Shannon is tired, he is tired of being on there. He is not going to say anything about Skip. So
right.
He did fight for me on there.
That's and I respect that. Even though they've had their differences, at the end of the day, he said Skip did a lot. Let's be honest, Skip did a lot for Shannon's career.
He did.
He really did a lot.
There's a lot of people now that and these are quotes from Shannon Sharpe I'm giving you now, so it's not like me just speculating. He said that there's people now that don't even realize he played football, but they know him more from Undisputed.
Exactly.
Exactly. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure we had some clarification.
No. I think it just got to a point to where Shannon's persona just kind of outgrew Skip, and they've had their differences. And I think Shannon has some other things lined up, or there's some other things that he wants to do. And he knows even with this buyout that there's going to be other networks or other people trying to reach out to Shannon and say, hey, do you want to get on this show? Do you want to do this? So he's got plenty of options. And on the other hand, I think Skip will be fine too. If the show continues, I'm sure they'll find someone to replace Shannon. I don't know if he's going to be as entertaining as Shannon.
Right. By the way, one of those, Stephen A. Smith.
He's
already said it's not going to be him.
Yeah, I think we've already seen that. So
yeah, he's outgrown the Skip partnership. So
yeah.
And then Mike is already vying for your spot.
Hey, the Herb and Mike. Herb and Mike.
Like, where's the loyalty? He's the head of the FRC.
He's the head of the RFC, but he's like, listen, if Roger's gone, it's just going to be the MFC, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So, but do you not think it's going to be awkward for these last shows?
It might be
behind his contract doors, now. They said whenever the NBA Finals ends,
then it's over.
He leaves. So if Denver it happened to sweep, Chad would be like, all right, deuces.
Yeah, I think behind closed doors it'll be all right. They'll still obviously they're going to keep it professional. But I think, with them now knowing he's leaving, I think the sentiments there and the feelings there are just going to be a little different. It's like, man, this is like coming to an end. It's been a good run. Let's give it to him. 7 years has been a good run. So
that's longer than we've been brothers. So
yeah. Why'd I say yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
That's like a win for me right there. I don't know why.
That is.
Oh. I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic. If I'm sitting across from somebody and they're talking about other stuff, I would in the middle of it blurt out, so why are you leaving? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, why are you leaving? And then the host is like, no, we're going to talk about this. Yeah, let the cameras run.
I think she's leaving also, though.
Oh, is she?
For an unrelated incident, yeah. So I believe that Jenny Tapp, I think she's leaving as well. So, and there's there's a million articles out there. Obviously, I don't have any insight into this. I don't, I know the incidents that may have led up to some of this stuff. But I don't know. I've heard Skip is tough to work with, But to me, I think that personal shot, like there's no need to take first off, I don't understand. If I sat here right now and I talked bad about Tom Brady, like, do I have to be better than Tom Brady? Because that'll never happen. But it's not.
The thing is, Skip didn't even play in the NFL. Shannon played in the NFL, won 3 Super Bowls, and is in the Hall of Fame. So it's not like he had a bad career.
Right. Exactly.
And then Skip made a point. He's like, yeah, you retired when you were I think Shannon retired when he was like 34, but in football years, that's old. Like,
that is old. Yeah.
Tom Brady was able to play till he's 45 because he had good protection up front, and the rules are more catered to help out quarterbacks anyway nowadays. So
yeah, so
you're tight end, you're getting hit all the time.
Yeah, and then what kind of insult is it to tell you, hey, possibly the greatest player of all time, you're not as good as him?
Right.
What does that even mean? Yeah, okay,
Shannon Sharpe's
career
weird.
wasn't as good as Tom Brady's. It doesn't mean he had a trash career.
Yeah.
If we're gonna compare every player to Tom Brady, like every player must suck, then I guess is that what you're saying? Like none of it made any sense to do, but that was just Skip. And Skip is the type like he's never gonna apologize, he's never gonna back down, he's never gonna backtrack. But yeah, that was just a fracturing. And I don't, I listen to a lot of their tidbits. I just I'm not gonna listen without Shannon. He brings a good balance to that. So yeah. I don't know, but. Raj, I would just hope if you were planning on leaving the Herb and Raj podcast that you would actually tell me something before,
I ain't going nowhere.
So here's Mike backtrapping.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Nobody can ever fill Raj's shoes, but Mike would do a greatest job as any. And there, Mr. U. Mr. U, check in.
Mr. U.
Yep, Skip definitely wants clicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I actually wonder, does he believe some of the stuff he tweets out and says, So
yeah.
Raj is a Tom Brady of podcasts. He's basically saying you're old and slow. Oh, wait. That's not what he meant. He probably meant it as a compliment. He probably meant it as a compliment. We'll never know for sure. No way to know for sure. All right, Raj. About 20 minutes left. We'll need a little bit of extra time for that. So let's tackle one of the subjects we said we wanted to tackle last week.
QBs?
No.
Oh,
that's a good. We'll hold that one too, though.
All right, cool.
See, I guess people don't realize sometimes. So the way we do our shows, we talk about here's our main topics that we 100% want to talk about. Here's maybe a secondary topic that we're going to get into, maybe a third, and then here's 5 other topics that we're we may do these depending on the time. So this would be a good one if nobody takes the other seat.
Yeah, but somebody's going to take that seat because somebody needs that opportunity.
But I 100% agree. Skip would never learn unless everybody turned it down.
That if that happened, then he'd take a look in the mirror and be like, all this time it was me. But look, let's be honest. Somebody out there's like, look, I would die to have that opportunity to kind of bolster up my career. So somebody,
and if they're not a strong personality and they just let Skip do whatever, it's not going to be a good show.
Yeah,
Shannon would challenge Skip, and that's what made it.
That's what made it good. Yeah.
So I argue with that. Yep, they will get eaten. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So, Raj, we were talking about the SEC off there, and they're wanting to go to an 8 or 9 conference schedule.
Right.
I think my gut reaction definite was 9 games. So I feel like the SEC should go to now. They're sticking with 8 for the next year.
Right. But in 2024, they're gonna get rid of the divisions, correct?
They're gonna get rid of the division, but I think they're still on the 8-game model right now. Saban was one of those that was against the 9 because he saw that Alabama would have to play LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee every year. It's like, what the F is this?
Yeah.
So I can see where it might suck, depending on your opponents.
Right.
But I think the balance for that is now there's an expanded playoff.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you have one tough out of conference game and you go through 9 conference games, and if you're still pretty good in the SEC, you're gonna make the playoffs. But
if you're Alabama or Georgia, I mean, you look at it like, okay, let's just say we happen to lose 2 games in the regular season. We're still gonna get a playoff spot anyway. And depending on how the playoffs run, they might let some three loss teams. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the expanded playoff when it comes. But I think if you're Alabama or Georgia, one of those tougher teams, you're gonna get in the playoffs regardless. You might just have to a lower seed. With that being said, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how everything stacks out, especially with no divisions. Well,
we had a meeting about sponsorships, and I'm like, hey, I've got a champion shirt on. I've got a hat, and I'm drinking Powerade Zero. So anybody wants to give us some money?
Kirkland
signature. Water?
Costco, water.
Okay, so what's Costco get us a 5-cent contract?
Hey, I'll take it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I would too.
I think that teams like I said, Alabama, Georgia are going to survive for a while. But it'll be interesting to see what happens as the years progress. As far as some teams get better, some teams get worse. So if you look at Tennessee is one of those teams that's kind of on the rise, especially after somehow beating Alabama last year at that game when they
cheated a
called
lot.
a interception or a pass interference when Kool-Aid got. Anyway,
we're bitter, so we're just gonna say
we're very bitter. We're very still bitter at that, but
we're more honest during the season. We're bitter now. So
let me ask you this question though. With this being said, which team do you think is going to survive? I'm not gonna say survive longer. Which team is going to have a longer and better run in the SEC? Texas or Oklahoma? I mean, if you look at if you answer right now it's Texas, but is there a chance that Oklahoma somehow gets better, like somewhere
definitely
in the future? Okay.
First off, your recruiting is going to get better just being in the SEC. Period. Plus, they had a coaching transition last year, but you're going to get bigger. You're going to get more physical. I think both teams will be fine in the long run because they're big brands.
Yeah.
But Texas is on the upswing now, and they're seemingly signing like a 5-star quarterback for every cycle.
Yep.
And that's the first thing that you need to win. So that's it. Two comments that we did miss in there. Stephen A. and Shannon. Look at Stephen A. and Shannon after being on Undisputed. Agree. It is a great springboard for sure.
Yeah.
And then the hesitation was seeing how the 12-team playoffs work with 2 and 3 team losses.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it in there. And then, like I said, part of it seeing who your opponents will be if you get 9 teams. But I think if you go to 9 and you go to the playoffs, I think you're going to be fine if you're one of the better ones.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Why? Who did you think, Raj, with Texas and Oklahoma?
No, I think Texas will have longer and better run, just for obvious reasons and the way they're looking right now. I do hope that Oklahoma gets better in the upcoming years. I think I want to say Oklahoma ended up 6-6 last year or something like that. They started off pretty well, but then the midway through the season things just kind of went downhill.
Right. And we're probably talking about that. So we're going to be on the Air Raid podcast.
Yes. Thursday night
podcast. Thursday night, 7:30.
7:30. Yep.
For us there. So we'll probably be talking about that. Raj and I talk. It's funny. This if you want to go behind the scenes and this stuff.
Yeah.
We talk a lot starting really on Thursday or Friday about the topics we want to talk about on here. It's the funniest talks because we'll say, "Here's a subject. Here's what I want to say." Okay, but don't tell me what you're going to say.
Right.
You're out the air.
Hold on. Yeah.
But when we're going on somebody else's, we just show up.
Yeah, we just show up.
It's just great. There's no prep. There's no whatever. It's so much more relaxing.
Right.
Than what we go through here. So, but appreciate Mike. Do we have to call him the other Mike since we have our own mic?
We can call him whatever you want. It's our show.
Well, Mike and Mike Jr. So
yeah.
A couple other random notes, I guess, before we get into the hard questions. Did you see this? There was a rumor that Dalvin Cook was almost traded to Miami sometime this offseason.
I didn't see the rumor today, but I heard about it about 1 or 2 months ago when the rumors first started flying around. But I'm kind of okay with who we have, and apparently Devin Achane, from the running back from A&M, is doing really, really good at OTAs. So I'm excited about that. He's extremely fast.
I think you guys are fine.
Yeah. I mean, even with Mostert and Jeff Wilson, we had a pretty good running game. And let's be honest, as long as Tua is healthy, that ball's going to be in the air. So
right. Yeah, I would definitely not trade for a feature back or anything. I wouldn't give up assets for him. So
right.
I think A-Chain was one of the faster backs in the draft, if not the fastest. So
yep.
What was the other one? Oh, the Colts now have a gambling saga.
I saw that right before we went on the air. I'm like, what is going through these guys' minds? Like, do they think that nobody's going to find out? And I know with the Detroit Lions, they were using the websites on the Lions facilities, which is why they picked it up. But I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Some of these guys can't be that hard out for money. I mean, what are they just doing it for fun, or what is? I don't know.
Well, and then there's a spot where he's like betting on his own team, and they're starting. I'm not going to name the person that they're naming here because to me it's still rumors, and maybe by next week we'll know they've named the legend. But I don't get it. And then betting on your own team, like you just know that it's just going to get you in trouble,
right?
And how much are you really trying to win? So I don't know. This Raj, Mr. U thinks you can't beat Buffalo without a healthy running back.
We beat him last year in the regular season.
Kind of.
No, we won the game.
Kind of.
And let's be honest, in the playoffs, they only beat us by 3 points, and Tua didn't even play that game. So yeah. I have to disagree with Mr. U there. I think we could beat Buffalo even with a decent running back.
Decent
running back, yeah.
A guy that we've never heard of, but it's fine, right?
Yeah.
All right, Raj. I got a couple ones, and then we got some stuff we can talk about after that. But it's about 10 minutes till See, Mr. U said kinda and sorta.
Yeah.
That's what I said. After that first game, like you lost every statistical category.
Hey, I don't care what the score is. If we score more points and we win, that's all that matters. As long as we get the dub.
Yeah. But yeah, also I remember Mr. U also thinks that Ohio State and Michigan is better than Alabama Auburn. And
I always feel like that. I understand Ohio State Michigan is huge, but I think it's also a regional thing. You come down here, I mean, come on, Auburn Alabama is like, it's it. Yeah. It's the thing. So
look at Mike stepping up for the Miami people. So the score is all that matters. Yeah. Oh, look at Mr. U. I never said that, Mr. U, like. We're not about accuracy on this show.
Yeah. Hey.
All I know is that Michigan and Ohio State was covered more than Alabama Auburn, and I was
right.
So that's how I feel. Yeah, that never happened. It's our show, so we can kind of
we can say these type of things. Yeah.
There's no fact checkers. All right, Roz, you want to go into the questions because I think I got some fun ones for you tonight.
Dun-dun-dun! Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so. We're talking about coaches and coaches fired, and Mike Malone. Which, by the way, you have to when you get off air, you have to see. It looks like he took another shot at the Lakers, so you have to
again.
Check that out. Yeah, I don't know why he
that
can't.
That series is over.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So in the major sports, Raj, you got NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, MLB, NHL, MLS.
I get it. Yeah.
From 1 to 5, 1 being the most important, 5 being the least important. Rank how important coaching matters. So if you say 1, your coach in this sport is the most important thing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I would say, and
by the way, Mr. U is going through it over there.
I know. We'll have to give him a call later or something.
Yeah. We never claim to tell the truth on this show.
Yeah.
We never claim to be accurate. We just do what we do.
I'm gonna say you said MLS is one of these, right?
Yeah, I wanted a soccer, and I'm just giving the major, but I'm saying soccer in general. Obviously, men, women, college, pros, whatever. That's what I'm saying in these sports.
Okay, I'll say MLS 5, the least amount, and keep in mind.
Wait, now, go ahead. We're gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, Herb and I both played soccer growing up. I played in high school, so we're not disrespecting soccer anyway. We're both huge soccer fans.
And we coached.
And we coached soccer. We coached a 12 and under team. Yeah. 3 years straight, we won first place, second place, and then we won first place. And those are actual facts. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful to soccer, but by playing the game, I understand that when you're playing soccer, your coach isn't yelling at you that much. He might yell at you every once in a while if he sees something wrong, but your coach isn't as involved as he would be in like football or basketball. So I'm gonna leave soccer number 5.
And to clarify that too, most of our coaching was done in practice.
Yep.
And substitutions. But once they were out on the field, it was just kind of remember in one of our championship games, which is I'll tell that story at the end of here. I'll tell that story at the end. Go ahead.
Number 4, I guess I'll say hockey. Was that one of the options?
Yep.
Again, I've never played hockey at all for any organized team. I played Blades of Steel on Nintendo. That was a pretty fun game.
You only liked it because you got to fight.
Yes. That's why anybody played Blades of Steel. So I'll give hockey for that reason. Number 3, I'd probably say baseball. For the reason that Major League Baseball is because when you look at the coaches in the dugout, they're usually just sitting there chewing sunflower seeds. They're not yelling at anybody. The only reason you need coaches in baseball is for arguments. If one of your batters gets called out and they strike out and the pitcher's outside, they just need you to run out there and defend them because they don't want to throw the player out the game. That's it. And you can honestly move, like Mike said, you can honestly move baseball to number 4. You can interchange 4, 3, or 4, but I'll leave it at 3. Number 2 is really between NBA and NFL.
Right.
I would say
seems to be that same thing.
Number 2 might be the NBA because
I agree.
Number 1 in NFL, you have so many different coaches that are vocalizing all of their specific. I mean, you got the DB coach, running back coach, linebackers coach, assistant coach, and they're all yelling at players throughout the game, regardless of whether it's collegiate or high school or pros, whatever. So I'm going to give for that reason. I'm going to give it for the NFL, and NBA can get number 2.
Yep. And so by the way, well, I don't know if Mr. U wants me to post it. So Mike was similar to yours. MLS, they said at the bottom. And like I said, I'll tell our soccer story later.
Yeah.
MLB and NHL, I think you guys were opposite on those two. And Mike also said NHL has more substitution. That's why he went that way. But you both agree basketball than football at the end. I don't know if Mr. U wants me to post him because now he wants to change his mind. So I'm gonna go on to the next question, and if he changes his mind, I'll post his correction. If not, I'll post his original thoughts on it.
Gotcha.
But basketball and football seem to be the original part.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Raj, I actually have up on my TV now the Stanley Cup Finals.
Who's playing? Is it Vegas and
Vegas and Florida? Vegas is up 1-0, and now they're up 2-0 in the second game. So,
okay.
And he's saying soccer, then hockey, because he's reversing 5 and 4. Soccer, then hockey, and then baseball, basketball, football. So everybody's the order. The bottom 3 and the top 2 are the same. It's just like the orders in there.
You can just kind of interchange them, yeah.
And I tend to agree with your assessments. I think that falls the same as mine. So
gotcha.
Appreciate you guys tuning in on that one.
Yes.
All right, Raj, you ready? You ready for a little work, play, live?
Oh yeah.
All right, I got 3 of them.
All right.
And as always, give you 3 names. One to work with, one to play, like go out party with, and one to live next to, like your next door neighbor.
Your neighbor. Yep.
All right, let's start with the bad boys. Dylan Brooks, Ron Artest.
Oh gosh.
Dennis Rodman.
Oh, that's easy. I'm partying with Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman's.
I hesitated to put him in because I was like, that's who he's gonna go out with.
I know that. Dennis Rodman has stories for days. We've heard about his antics going to Vegas. I think even during the Last Dance, Michael detailed one where was it during the finals, I think, or the playoffs or the finals when Dennis just needed a break and went to Vegas for like 48 hours.
And they just let him go. But he still came into practice and was busting everybody's butt.
Exactly. So. Like nothing had ever happened. So I'm definitely partying with Dennis Rodman. The other two, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to...
Interesting bad.
I'll work with Ron Artest because I feel like if we're co-workers, if we're really pissed off, I'll let him vocalize how we feel so that he can get fired for me. Because I still need my paycheck. I gotta, pay bills. Wow. And then Dylan Brooks will be my neighbor, but I wouldn't really talk to him much because I can see Dylan Brooks out there just mowing the lawn, like chugging a beer, doing some stupid stuff. So I wouldn't really talk to him much.
Wow.
But yeah, Ron Artest will be like, I hate this job. I'm gonna talk to the manager. I'll be like, yeah, you go do that, Ron.
I'll be right behind you, Ron.
I'll be way behind you, yeah.
Would you call him Ron or would you call him Meta?
I call him Ron. At work, I gotta call him Ron. You can't call him Meta at work. Yeah,
okay.
That'd be weird.
All right, you ready for 80s action heroes?
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis.
Work, play, live. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Bruce Willis. My neighbor's probably gonna be Bruce Willis. I think that'd be pretty cool. He can tell me some good Die Hard stuff and some stuff that happened in some of the scenes of his movies. I'll work with Stallone. I think he's kind of serious when it comes to that type of stuff. He'll kind of guide me in that direction. And I'll party with the Governor. I'll party with that because the whole time I'm hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm gonna be saying this repeatedly. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm gonna say it so many times till I get on his nerves.
Right, probably.
Yeah.
Time number 4. Yep. And by the way, Mike said Draymond fits into that question better than Brooks. Yeah. I agree, but I'd already used Draymond.
We've already done a work play live with
and
Draymond.
I already knew he would party with Draymond, so I couldn't throw it back into the question. And he did mention about the Vegas and Florida, finals. The traditional NHL winter powers, pretty freezing cold in both places.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you ready for your last work play live?
Let's do it.
Rocket, Groot,
okay,
Drax.
Okay, with this being said, I haven't seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy yet.
I haven't either.
Rocket, Drax, and Groot. Groot's gonna have to be my neighbor because Groot just doesn't really talk a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of interaction. But I don't think I would have a lot of problems with him. Since he's a tree, I think he would keep his lawn trimmed and nice.
Would he, or would the trees be overflowing?
That's a good question. As long as they're overflowing in his yard, I don't care, really, to be honest.
Okay.
Drax, I'd work with Drax because when it comes to like vocabulary stuff, he doesn't really talk much. He just says these really, really short sentences, so we can just keep it strictly work. I'm a party with Rocket. Rocket looks like, he knows how to have a good time.
Would he blow up the place that you're in though?
As long as I'm not there, I don't care. Like, let's just say we go hang out for a while, then we leave. Then he shoots it with a rocket or something. Like, all right, cool. On to the next spot.
Wow. Okay. All right, you ready for the last one? We're running short on time here.
Yeah.
All right. You have to build an NBA team.
Okay.
With players from the Saban era at Alabama.
Like a 1 through 5?
Yep.
My point guard is going to be Bryce.
Of course.
My shooting guard will probably be Devontae Smith. My small forward is going to be Julio Jones. My power forward is going to be
Derrick Henry's got to make this list.
Damn. No, he's not going to make the list.
Uh-oh.
My power forward might be I need a 4 and a 5? This is tough.
Yeah.
My 5 might be Quinnen Williams just because he's a big guy. And my power, it just stand there, just take up space and play defense and foul the heck out of people. My 4 would be I don't know. There's so many players. Oh, my 4 would be Tony Brown. The crazy, Tony Brown's crazy.
God.
Yes.
Okay. Did you just draft Ron Artest and Dennis Rodman and Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green? Is that who you just drafted?
Yep.
Good grief. Okay. All right. I should have given you a little more prep time on that one, but
I like it when you catch me off guard on someone, so it makes it more interesting.
Yeah. And Mike, the last comment of the night, I work with Rocket for the same reason you'd work with Artest. I think those are good choices.
Rocket would make work fun.
Yeah. Well, I think he's also saying, tell Rocket to go complain, and he'd probably blow up the bosses for you. So, I don't know what the bosses, how they office blew up, but they did say they were about to give me a raise.
Who am I? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, thank you, everyone.
Yes, we appreciate y'all.
So Mike, Mr. U, David, E, and PJ.
Yep.
Did I
appreciate all y'all
there? Nope. Thank y'all all for all the. Oh, and whoever was in there that said Herb was amazing. Appreciate you too as well.
Thank you, anonymous person that we don't know who it is.
Yeah, I have no clue whatsoever. Raj, I had fun as always.
Same here. Likewise, brother.
I guess next week the NBA Finals could either conceivably go on long or conceivably be. Now they won't be over. They'll still be going on.
I think you just wanted to say conceivably.
You know, I'm trying to get one of those word of the day toilet paper.
Oh my gosh!
What is this? Those deals. So we're gonna try. We're gonna work in as much stuff as we can until we get paid, Raj.
Gotcha.
Appreciate you as always. The Herb and Raj podcast.
Appreciate you guys.
Herb and Raj had a wonderful night. Thank you for all the comments. And until next week, roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide.